What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Got a special client interview today with my guy, Adrian. Adrian's been in the program now for a few months, and he's been absolutely killing it. But Adrian, not going to steal your thunder. Why don't you go ahead, talk about who you are, what you do, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, what's up, Nick? Thanks for having me. I'm Coach Adrian. I am a baseball specific speed coach. So essentially, just kind of helping kids drop their 60-yard dash in baseball, kind of steal more bags, become more athletic in the field. Our kind of unique mechanism that we discovered is really breaking down sprint mechanics through video analysis to give these kids great feedback. So, didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was a pretty good in person speed coach, but kind of found that online worked a little bit better, really wanted to make an online business, found your program due to the Instagram algorithm, and yeah, ended up joining. And yeah, about 6 months into the program, 5 or 6 months, I'm really not sure, but definitely on a good pace right now. So
Sick, sick. Well, I appreciate you jumping on, dude. I'm excited to dive in and kind of talk about the specifics, but obviously, let's go back to a little bit before you joined the program. Like, what's kind of your background in baseball and speed coaching specifically? Because speed coaching is pretty unique.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, it kind of I guess goes back to high school. I was always a kind of a fast kid, but a little bit on the smaller side. I had 3 knee surgeries on the same knee before I was 18. So tore my ACL my sophomore year, tore my junior year, and then I tore my meniscus my freshman year in college. Uh, that wasn't just it. I had a lot of other things like MCL, PCL, meniscus, all that stuff. So I had pretty much a full knee reconstruction 3 times, and doctor said I would never be fast again. Right. Um, Coming into my freshman year of college, ended up running a 60 as an undersized guy at a JUCO. I think it was like a 7.1 or something like that. So obviously, as a speed guy, like that's not very fast, right? So
Yeah.
I knew my only chance to get like a 4 year scholarship was like, hey, you got to get a little bit faster. So that year was COVID. My freshman year had that full kind of off season, I guess you can say, to train. So ended up coming back. Ran a pretty good 60 time sophomore season, kind of just stole out of bases, had a pretty high average, and was pretty athletic in the field, play multiple positions, and that kind of just essentially got me a scholarship. When college coaches were asking me like, "Hey, they weren't asking me if about me hitting 350 or winning a Gold Glove in the outfield. They're like, "Hey, we saw you ran a good 60. We saw you had over 30 stolen bases in 20 some games. Like, yeah, you got a spot. You got a spot on our team." So yeah, it kind of just really fascinated me, like watching guys like knees over toes guy and all these kind of speed gurus and like movement gurus out there. I kind of took it in my own hands. Never thought I'd be a speed coach at this point. Had a really good successful career for baseball at college. I was a leadoff hitter, outfielder, a lot of rewards, accolades, all that stuff. Awesome. Um, After college baseball, I was actually a track coach at my college, and I got my master's in exercise physiology. Again, thought I was going to be like a doctor or something like that, some kind of sports movement specialist, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know what it was going to be. But coming out of that, graduated with my master's, got some experience in like the speed world. I ended up joining, I had like a pretty shitty part time job, and then, found this place that I worked at, well, still work part time, but it was kind of just like a strength and conditioning place, like teaching athletes how to pretty much get faster. And I learned so much in the short amount of time that I was there, and I became a pretty good coach. Like I can see things like, hey, this is how you should be moving. This is where your foot placement needs to be. Like, oh, striking underneath the hips, like cheek to pocket with the arms, all this stuff. And I was like, I can really teach kids, a certain way. And I also knew at that time that I wanted to start my own business, right? I also knew that I wanted to start my own business. I didn't know what that was going to be, So coming into 2025 this year, I essentially was like, I didn't know if I was going to be like a guy with like diet, because I loved, talking about diet and exercise. Didn't know if I was going to be a guy with just strength. I ended up kind of just sticking to my roots and was like, hey, I'm just going to be a speed coach online. And then I knew I wanted to be a speed coach. That was around the time that I found your program. I was already kind of posting stuff of my own on Instagram, kind of trying to get a little bit of traction. Ended up joining the program. And kind of through the help of like Matt, he kind of helped me distinguish, hey, you need to be more specific. And that's kind of what changed everything for me. When I started getting like super, super specific, is when I was getting the most traction and I was relating to the most amount of people. So I straight up was like, hey, 60-yard dash, baseball players, sprint mechanics. That was the focus of my content, right? So after that, I mean, the majority of my clientele was like, hey, I want to drop my 60 by point 0.3 to point 0.5. We want to work with you. Awesome. And then I kind of was just like, how do I provide value for the price that I'm charging? And I was like, I'm just going to teach them exactly what I would teach them in person. And sure as shit, it became a lot more of a premium service because I can actually break down video for an hour instead of, seeing a sprint for 3 seconds, trying to give them a lot of feedback. It became a premium service. So I got to justify exactly what I'm charging and help kids a lot more. So again, that's exactly where I'm at. Don't know if I spoke maybe a little bit off the wall, whatever it may be, but I hope that answered your question.
No, perfect, dude. Perfect. And I think you've given us a lot of conversation points from here. So obviously, you had like some interest in speed. You niched down to saying baseball players, 60-yard dash. Like, I'm gonna help you. What was your experience making content before jumping into the program? Like, were you making a lot of content before? Had you done a little bit?
Yeah, so I was like kind of starting off on TikTok, playing around with a couple of different things. I try to go like, health and fitness. I try to go like, diet and nutrition, a couple of things. Nothing really kind of clicked. And I kind of made the transition to Instagram, which was kind of big for me. And I was like, all right, whatever I choose here, I'm going to go all in on. Because like Instagram's Instagram, TikTok, you can have a little burner account, whatever. Instagram is Instagram. This was 2025, so I think I only had like 600 and some followers, for my personal Instagram. And, decided to double down from what I was doing, speed, agility, strength, whatever it was. And then obviously over the past year or so, 10 months, I gained about 7,000 followers. So, and those are all people from exactly what the videos that I was making with baseball players, 60-yard dash, tips, tricks, sprint mechanic, all that stuff. So, yeah, don't know if that answered the question or not.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So you're making a little bit of content, but nothing too crazy. Then you get into the program, you talk to Matt. Matt tells you to be a lot more specific,
Yeah.
right? So what was it kind of like your experience going from, let's say, never really having coached anybody online before, posting a little bit to then actually starting to see real, real results?
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Can you ask that question maybe in a more clear way?
Yeah. How long did it take you to go from joining the program to actually seeing results?
Okay. Yeah. As in like getting clients.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I joined, I think Claude, because I was finishing up my master's. Claude gave me like an extra like 4 weeks or something like that. But I joined, I believe, like late April. And within a month, I got my first client. And then within 2 months, I got like three or four. And then within 3 months, I got like eight. And then 6, 7, and 8, or whatever it was, I got like an extra 30. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of just been like a thing where it was pretty quick. I think in terms of business, it was pretty quick. Just because it was so specific, right? Like no real prior experience to speed training, but you get down to something that you're really good at and you're very specific to the avatar that you want to cater towards, you can have results really, really fast. You know what I'm saying? Which I think that was for me in my case.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So you feel like because you're so specific and so niche, it allowed you to cut right through the noise and talk directly to people.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was trying to go like pretty broad. I was really focused on followers and all that stuff, a lot of views, a lot of reach, whatever it may be. But then I even remember when I initially like on our sales call with Claude, he was like, "Well, would you rather have 100,000 followers and be making nothing, or have 10,000 followers and be making $10,000 a month?" And that kind of flipped the switch with everything for me. I was like, "No, yeah, you're right." And actually now I like it that I'm growing at a steady pace because that allows me to get more and more of my clients over time rather than you have, let's say, a 15,000 follower spike overnight. Like, how many of those 15,000 followers are you going to convert overnight or over 2 days versus the course of a year? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that really makes sense, but that's kind of like my thought process when it comes down to it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You've really just you've started to view the quality of the followers that you have as much more important than how many followers you have.
Correct.
Yeah, sweet. Okay. And I guess for like anybody out there who's like not 100% sure how all this stuff works, like maybe break down for me how exactly, you're thinking about attracting the athletes and then actually getting them to sign up for your program.
Yeah, again, I just make really specific content. You got to post it a lot of times. I think I started off posting maybe like 3 or 4 pieces of content per week. I kind of bumped that up to like 8 to 10 now, just because I have a little bit more time on my hands. I was able to go part time in my job instead of full time because of it. So I have more time for content. So yeah, posting 8 to 10 times, hyper specific content, and then obviously, having those call to actions, like letting people know that you actually offer a service rather than just like having them find you. You know what I'm saying? You have to let people know, hey, I offer this service if you are interested in working with me. And then obviously having those conversations in the DMs, going through the process, maybe a little bit of brute force, in the beginning before you get all those systems down. And, I'm still working on systems, whatever it may be. But yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there.
No, you're good. That was perfect. And at this moment in time, what would you say on average is the amount of time that you're putting in towards like your online business per week?
I feel like I haven't even thought about this. I try not to do much on the weekends, but Sundays I do some things. I would say coaching wise, I do have a coach, a partner that I work with. So thankfully, he takes a lot of pretty much most of the athletes that come into the program now. But from me coaching to making content to kind of like managing, I would say 5 to 10 hours per week, maybe more, maybe 20. I don't know. I don't know.
Sure.
It really just depends, really. It really just depends. When you are very invested in something and you want to actually make something grow, that's not really what I'm thinking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe some weeks if I have a lot of things already preset, it'll be 5 to 10 hours. If it's some weeks where I have to, create a couple more things, it could be anywhere from 10 to 20 hours. But again, like that's not really a number that I'm specifically thinking about.
For sure. Because you see it more as like I want to make this thing grow and I really enjoy it rather than like I have to do this.
Exactly. It doesn't feel like, oh, like I gotta do whatever. It's like, no, like if you want to get the athletes, if you want to live the life that you want to live, you're not gonna think about how long it takes. You know what I'm saying? You don't look at business in a 3 month to 6 month span. You look at it as like a year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, 10 year span. So
Yeah.
again, like time frame wise, I don't really think that that's something that people should worry about if they're truly committed to like growing a business, helping athletes online. Like, if you really want to do something, you'll find time to do it.
Yeah.
Because I was
Yeah.
doing it with a full time job, working 40 hours a week without a coach, doing the sales calls, doing the coaching calls, making the content. Like, you'll find time, I promise you, if you really want it.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more, dude. That's dope. Okay. And all right, obviously, like I knew you hinted at it a little bit before. You were able to go part-time in your job. What have the results kind of looked like since joining the program?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I was pretty scared, to go part time, but luckily, they were able to work with me. They understood like what I was doing and, they supported me for it. So, you know, I was, making a good amount of money online. I kind of had my first big month and, I'm one that's not really scared to take a big jump, maybe deep down, but on the outside, I won't be. So,
Sure.
since I went part time, this was about 2 months ago that I went part time and I doubled my income the first month, and then I doubled it again from that previous month, like again. You know what I'm saying? So it's only been uphill. It allowed me to have more time to, make content, take calls, coach athletes, focus on systems. So definitely since I went part-time, it definitely helped me, allowing me to have more time to where I don't know how much time I spend, on my business, because that's literally what I do.
Like,
Like when I'm home, I eat, I go to the gym, I work on my business, maybe I'll play a little bit of video games. That's it.
yeah, sick, sick. And I know obviously last month you had a pretty big month. I don't want to spoil it, but like where did you end out for October?
So I think last month, so not, I think September was like, I think I grossed like 15.4 cash collected. And then I think
Uh,
like total revenue was like maybe close, like 16 something. And then this month, October, so the following month, was like 16 something cash collected, and I think like 18 something total revenue. So, and that's again like every single month since I started, I've only been getting more and more and more clients, right? Because like the dollars are a direct reflection of the clients. So, what I found is
exactly.
the more content that I posted, the more I worked on my systems, the more sales, the better I got at my sales calls, which you're going to be a good salesman if you believe in your product and you actually think you're going to help your athletes, which I do. So that
Yeah,
was pretty easy. And yeah, man. And since then, it's been going amazing. Really, truthfully, it's been going amazing.
that's dope. If you could look back at like 6 months ago, like or let's say like whenever you joined the program, did you envision like this level of outcome or did it surprise you?
Yeah, so I think you can ask Claude about this one. Like right on that sales call, I was like, "Listen, man, I'm trying to make like fuck $10,000 a month. I'm trying to make like 40 or 50." You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm willing to make nothing for a long time, and then see some results. Honestly, to be completely honest with you, I expected to be where I'm at because I envisioned that. I didn't think it would happen this soon. Right. I didn't think it would happen this soon because I know from a business perspective, you need to be like locked in, expect to make nothing, expect to help nobody for a very long amount of time before you see some success. I saw success again, like within the first month. So that just like really motivated me even more to be like, this could happen like a lot quicker than I think, which
Yeah.
made me double down on everything, double down on my processes, my calls, my content, people I reached out to, the people that I coached. Um, and yeah, so to answer your question, I didn't think that I would be where I'm at right now 6 months ago. I did not think so. I thought it would take a little bit longer.
Sure. That's sick though, dude. That's sick. And for anybody maybe watching this right now who is maybe a little bit skeptical or like not really sure if like this is for them, right? Because obviously it's like an internet program. I never want to hold that against somebody for being skeptical, right?
Yeah.
Like, who would you say that this program is for? Like, if they're watching this, like they absolutely need to do this.
I mean, if you want to be a guy that, not only is a coach, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can be a coach anywhere you want. But if you want to run a business, if you want to have your own community of athletes to where, you're the head honcho, you're the head coach, you kind of develop everything, you're the main guy, like, and have that community of athletes around you, this is for you. But there's a price tag attached to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be months where you make content and no one's reaching out, and there's going to be months where, you know, you go through all these things and you're not getting the results. But the thing is like you have to go through it to get the results. You have to go through the fray. So the reason that I say that is because if you think that you're just going to join the program, hop on a couple calls with Matt, talk some strategy, and then like boom, you're going to get your first client. Boom, you're going to get 10 clients. Now you got 10 to 20 clients coming in every single month. That's not what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? That's just not. And if you're not ready to, have 6 months of work without any results, if that is the case, obviously with guys like me, there's been obviously other people in the program who have had results right away. But if you're not willing to like work for 3 to 6 months to get your first 10, like don't do it at all. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not going to happen overnight. It's a process that you have to follow. And obviously, you guys have a great system to follow that obviously helped me and so many other people, like, get to where we're at right now. But again, like, it's got to be something to where you make that commitment right when you join or before you even join. You got to be committed to it. Commitment is not a month to month thing. It's not a week to week thing. It's a day to day thing. You know what I'm saying? Every single day. If you're not going to bed thinking about what kind of, like, what am I doing then, like, what am I doing tomorrow, like, what is my system tomorrow, like, dude, again, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, 100%. So somebody who's actually committed, who's
Somebody
willing to
that's
put in the
very
work.
committed to what they want to do. Yeah, it's not like you're just gonna join the program and just boom, you're making 5-10K a month just like that. No, not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, I wish. I'd charge a lot more. Well, obviously, I know we've covered a lot of different stuff. Like, is there anything maybe that you want to talk about that you feel like is really attributed to the success that you've had?
I mean, realistically, all it is like it's really what I just kind of elaborated on. Like, if you listen to Alex Hormozy a lot or any of these business guys, like, you need to be willing to do free work for a very long period of time and not expect anything out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know how to answer this question. Like, besides, you need to do a lot of work for a long period of time without expecting any results. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't expecting anything, for my first 6 months. That's the mindset that I came into this with. Do the work, do as much as you can, do not expect anything, and see where you're at in 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And sure as shit, 6 months later, I've made over a year's, salary in 6 months. And, I have the luxury of having another coach working with me. I have my own business. I'm helping a lot of athletes, reach their full speed potential. And it's like, again, that might not have happened if I didn't make that commitment to myself right when I joined. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the most successful people in this course make that commitment to themselves and treat it like a day to day thing rather than a week to week thing or a month to month thing. Because you see 6 month program, you think, oh, okay, I got 6 months. I mean, sure, you have 6 months, but what are you going to do in those 6 months? You know what I'm saying? Like, again, people can see 6 months, they think month to month, progress. I see 6 months, other people see the 6 months, they think day to day, hour to hour. How am I going to slightly get better every single day to achieve those short term goals to reach the long term goals? Right.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the one thing that I would say I don't even remember where your question was. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's perfect. No, I just want to say, like, dude, I really appreciate your commitment to the work and like your commitment to excellence because like we've helped a ton of different people, right, across a bunch of different sports and backgrounds and things like that. And I think what's really cool about your story is that you've found a way to make every single thing happening in your life work for you instead of a reason as to why you're not going to have success. You've found a way to see it as a reason why you're going to have success. And I think that's definitely something to be super proud of. So
Yeah.
I just want to say that publicly, dude. It's been really, really cool to see your success.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't think I understood what you just said, though. I understand what you mean by like making everything work for me. Yeah, I get that. That's kind of the overall goal. Um, I don't really think I understood what you said with the second thing, though.
Yeah, how there's just like a lot of people that they look at their circumstances in life and they always find a reason as to why it's going to hold them back.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, like it's like a pitcher that throws like 94 is like, oh, like I only throw 94. If I threw 97, then I would, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, people like that never have success.
Yeah. I
And
hate that.
yeah, of course, because it sucks. It's the only way to guarantee that you'll never be happy and that you'll never get what you want.
For sure.
So
For
that's
sure.
why I say I have a lot of respect for you, bro, because you, in every single conversation that we have and everything that you do, You are constantly looking for solutions. You're looking for reasons as to how you can get what you want rather than finding reasons as to why you're not going to. And I think that that's something to be proud of.
Thank you. Thank you. Now I understand it. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course. Of
Yeah.
course, dude.
I
Um,
still feel like I'm not doing enough work, man. I still feel like I'm probably putting in 30, 40 hours a week, like whatever it is, always thinking about stuff. I still feel like I'm not doing enough. Like I could do more. You know what I'm saying? So again, like you need to have a very high level of commitment if you want to have success short term and long term. You know, you could say that I'm a success story short term. I don't even think that I am. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at this from
yeah,
like a 5 year perspective. What can I do every single day? You know, what can I do something every single day to, stir the pot just a little bit more, get a little bit more knowledge about what I'm actually doing and, obviously how do I help somebody every single day. So yeah, man, I appreciate the positive feedback though. Thank you.
of course. Of course. Last thing before we wrap up here, what's your plan over like let's say the next 6 to 12 months? Like where do you see your business going?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're working on a little bit of a back end, so I would say in the next, did you say 6 to 12 months?
Yeah.
I would predict that we have, over 150 athletes, by the end of next year. Just full blown, speed academy on school, possibly a brand for our speed. I had a couple merch, a little bit of some merch stuff that a lot of my followers liked. Not released yet, but a lot of them
Sick.
liked it. So, branding the business, making my overall vision is making speed training cool. Cause it is like from like my
That's
experience,
sick.
maybe you don't think so. That's fine. But for me, like,
I
and
thought
like the
so.
people that I surrounded myself with, my head coach, he's a Team USA bobsledder. You know what I'm saying? This guy ran a
Dope.
618. Ran a
Dope.
618. He's a freak. Absolute freak. I've trained with him. He's probably the reason why I got into it. And it's funny that like he's like my head coach now. But yeah, man. I just want to make like that feeling that I got training with him and just the feeling that I got like speed training and training like an athlete, that vibe, I want to make that into a community online and reach the most amount of people that I can. Right. And having guys like me, guys like Coach Dylan come in and just, feel like they're a part of something, just like you're doing, exactly like what you're doing. Right. Making a community of coaches who want to, help athletes online and get out of their, hourly jobs that they are with in person. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
That's sick, dude. You know, the number one characteristic I've seen amongst the coaches that have the most amount of success inside my program,
Yeah. What is it?
it's that whenever I ask them what their vision is, they always talk about how they want to help the most amount of athletes as they possibly can because they have a much deeper reason why. Like either, in your instance, like you want to help people learn about speed, like you want to make speed training cool, right? And that's the biggest thing that I see because I think when you have a vision that's great like that, that's outside of yourself, it allows you to push through them days where you're like, fuck, bro, this shit's tough,
Yeah.
because it's hard sometimes.
There's some days where I just want to close my laptop and go on my PlayStation and just rip NCAA college football 26 for 6 straight hours. Which I actually put my PlayStation, I unplugged it and I put it into the closet for the next week to, really double down on November. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, no, completely for 100%, dude. Like at the end of the day, it's like, the vision that I have for this thing is not short term. It's not how much money I can make. I kind of already understand that, if you really wanted to make a lot of money, you can do that. I can do it without, the speed training. I can sell something else for whoever. Like realistically, it is just kind of bringing that vision to life of, because I truly believe like athletes in football, baseball, not just baseball, every single sport, should be training their speed and athleticism. What's the first characteristic when you're doing a my player on, NBA or NFL or MLB that you're like maxing out on? You know what I'm saying? You're making
Yeah.
99 speed, 99 acceleration. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Totally.
Like, because truly, like, if you're faster, like, your speed can change your game. Your speed can help yourself get recruited. It can do so many things for you. So teaching kids how to run the right way, having a plan for them full year round to actually unlock their full speed development and, hopefully get the results that they always want to get is like what we're trying to focus on. And making it cool at the same time. Because it is freaking cool. Like when you see a guy, at a football field by himself doing a 100-yard sprint, you're like, damn, this guy's a badass. You know what I'm saying? Just all out
Yeah.
max effort sprinting. You're like, oh my God, like shit, he's getting a workout in right now. So yeah,
Yeah.
man, that's kind of the vibe that we're trying to go for. Just creating some savages, you know what I'm saying, with their training and all that. So yeah, man.
Yeah. No, I'm super stoked for you, bro. And it's just the beginning for you. And I think it's cool that you recognize that too. It's cool that you recognize how big this can be. For anybody out there watching right now, where can they find you at?
Just at underdog speed. Yeah, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, underdog speed.
Sick.
Again, underdog speed, man. Hey, 3 knee surgeries. That's where it came from. 3 knee surgeries. And I went from running a 7.1 to a 6.3. So
Yeah, that's
that's
sick.
that's a little backstory about the underdog speed.
That's sick. Well, that's
Doctor
dope,
said I
dude.
couldn't do it. Doctor said I wouldn't be fast again. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
That's sick, dude. I think that goes directly into the point that we were just talking about. But yeah, we'll leave it there, dude. We tried to do this before for anybody watching. We tried to do this before, and we just yapped off camera for an hour, and then we are like,
Full
okay.
hour. Full hour. 1 full hour. Forgot that the interview was happening.
Yeah, it was hilarious. But anyway, dude, I appreciate you jumping on the channel. That was super awesome. And for anybody that's watching, if you want to learn how you can grow your online coaching business, go ahead, apply with us down below. Either way, Adrian, appreciate you jumping on, man.
Thank you for having me, Nick.
All right, y'all.